Okay, so this is my analysis of It Comes at Night. It does actually give off the idea of it being a horror film, but it is actually a thriller. I think the advertising was a little bit off with this film, but it was good. It was a good film. It seems to take inspiration from Insidious for me. It came out a couple of years ago, maybe last year. I'm not quite sure, but it did come out fairly recently, and it's even got the lamp, for God's sake. Insidious, they walk around the further with the lamp. They've got a red door. That's exactly what there is here on this poster. It seems like a bit of a rip-off, to be honest. And I've got to admit, it kind of was. Please excuse my cat scratching on the back of my chair there. Hello, Zach. Thank you. Right. Yeah, it's... that's sort of the images covered, really. I mean, we'll go back to them, but there we are. So, let's start off with the colours and the images. We'll start with the black. Now, black it's most of the poster is black. That's the fact. We don't know what lurks in that darkness. It looks like it's appearing to be part of that scene. There's anything could be lurking in there. It has connotations of dark themes, of horror, of fear, of death. And we know that they could be present in this film. Now, the thriller aspect isn't really shown in the trailer, in the poster, sorry, but it's more leaning towards the horror side. Now, I am actually, it's psychological thriller, but I'm sort of moving towards psychological horror, and that's what this is. Most of my posters for the psychological thriller thing it's actually psychological horror, which is fine. That's good. Now, then you've got the red. Now, the red has connotations of danger. It has connotations of blood. So we can tell that danger will be caused to these victims. We don't really know the storyline from the poster. We haven't really got a clue. And we can tell that there's blood that's going to be spilt. That's the most we know. It doesn't reveal anything about the plot, really, except that there's a door that could be dangerous, and yeah, that's about it. It's going to be scary. That's all we know. So we'll move on to images. Now we've got this door. Doors usually represent new beginnings, new worlds, new places. It's seen in Insidious, the red door, as a sort of door to the dead, the world of the dead, the crossover world, and it's how you get to the world of the demons and the ghosts and the ghouls. So if it's a red door, there's usually danger behind it. Let's be honest. But they are also ones for new beginnings. Now, in this film, that I think is fairly common. That's part of the meaning that they wanted to take from it. Now, it's a very strange film. I remember sitting through it and thinking, right, okay, go on. But I wasn't really fully invested in the story. But the whole thing is that behind that door there is a man that's been infected with a zombie virus, basically. And that's how they get outside. And the world's sort of been taken over by zombies, but you don't really see many. And they sort of go about doing stuff. It actually takes you quite a while to realise that it's a zombie film rather than just all, new world thing. But it is actually a new beginning of learning to cope within this world of zombies and stuff. So yeah, that's also the representation behind the door as well. Now the lamp. The lamp is sort of drawn into the horror universe now, I think, from Insidious. It's a child's toy lamp that they use to guide them around the further, which is the place where the demons are. And yeah, it sort of has connotations of that. I mean, it's a lantern, I think, more than a child's lantern, but it brings light, so it shows that this character is good. Yeah. You're supposed to be rooting for this person that's in front of the door. Then we've got the actual person, the silhouette. We see that he is enshrouded by the darkness. You don't want him to go through that door. There's something bad through that door. but he probably is because it's a horror film, and he does, so there we go. Right, let's move on to font and text. So the title, It Comes at Night, is it actually starts off small and gets bigger the closer to the closer to the lamp it gets. Now it looks like that's sort of the light, you know, the closer to the light you are, the bigger you are, the safer you are, you know, that seems to be the theme behind it. It also has a bit of a glow around the writing. Now I do believe that the writing is actually serif. It has the little flicks on it, which isn't very common in posters, but it can be in horror posters, I think, sometimes. And we don't... What's strange about this poster is we don't have any cast and crew. We don't have any of the logos. We don't have any of that. We just have a simple date, which I can't actually read because it's that small in the bottom right corner. It's very plain. It's very, very simple. And I think that gives off a good effect. You know, this is going to be a simple horror film that you can watch passively. You don't need to invest in the narrative, which is true, you really don't. Although it can be a bit like what the hell at times. But that is my analysis of It Comes at Night.